Welcome to Shop Talks. Shop Talks is a production of the Ink Kitchen. Hey, Ben. And ISS, Impressions. They've been very supportive. They want to make these shows more interesting. I always dreamed that maybe we would have a space to shoot the shit about printing and all kinds of decoration, free from being assaulted by people trying to sell us stuff. So this is a space to do that. There's a few folks around. Casey, that works for the Ink Kitchen, has a bunch of samples. He's back there. We can talk shop there. And we got, for the next 3 days, people that do this work day in, day out, whether it's art, R&D, printing, embroidery. These are not professional speakers. We are not trying to put a big show on or sell you anything. These are folks that do this work, and we'll have a brief talk, in this case by my friend Michelle Moxley, who is the Innovation Director at M&R. She's gonna talk about hybrid, DTG, screen print, hybrid stuff. We'll have a brief talk, and then she'll be here if you want to talk to her afterwards and answer questions or compare notes or what have you. So, Michelle Moxley.
I take that one. Hello. I'm going to take you through what hybrid is to start off, what the advantage is over screen print, traditional screen print. So you'll see it in the M&R booth, the digital squeegee. It eliminates a lot of the pre-press that goes into screen print. So where you would traditionally mix 12 different colors to make a simulated process print, you're applying the surface digitally, and you don't have all of that pre-press. Also, traditional manual separation or even automatic separation for screen print would be eliminated. There is pre-press involved, and it's definitely a learning curve, but it eliminates a lot of the cost on the front end of screen printing. It fits into a window of application that is a little higher than direct to garment and less than long run screen print. So there's definitely a window where it's really effective in cost. And then it also helps to eliminate the back and forth between your pre-press, your customer, and your sample, where you maybe aren't meeting an expectation through a traditional screen application. With hybrid, you can make fast adjustments, and each print can be slightly different than the last, which gets you to your final goal faster, and it opens up your press, the rest of the screen printing heads, to other application. And this is where it becomes really unique, being hybrid. You can add any technical special effects either before or after the application. You can use digital hybrid on any kind of fabric, anything that has 100% polyester or blends inside of it. You can add polyester blockers to stop migration and still print full color on top. We're working on building color palettes that match into specific PMS colors, and it was said before that that's impossible, and it is true that hitting an exact PMS color using a CMYK model is difficult, but you do have the hybrid aspect around the digital, so you can add a screen if you're trying to hit a particular standard. And
Pepsi
you can also,
Blue, right?
Huh?
Pepsi Blue or something.
Yes, exactly. So you can have a customer that comes off their standards and allows it to be matched through CMYK, and maybe they're using that in some other digital application like paper, or you can add a screen which allows you to have both, the best of both worlds. It's also really effective if you don't want to use digital ink to apply a big solid area because of cost, to add an extra screen with screen printing to reduce your cost overall, but allow certain aspects of it that are more difficult to replicate and screen, you can apply digitally and they become more commonplace. So for a large brand, having digital squeegees at different vendors means that they get the same result. They use the same digital files, they use the same basic application method, and they get much more similar results than if they have someone that's really excellent at simulated process and then someone else who struggles to print that way because it's not something they do frequently. Additionally, if you're doing something that has a high color count and you want to add a special effect like reflective or metallic or HD, with the hybrid aspect, your press opens up and you can add more technical special effects. You can change them during the print run. You can change the digital application, which lets the special effect be cross over to different images. So I'm going to show you some examples of that. Right now, in my experience, it's been about a year and a half. Hybrid is kind of in its infancy with the development that I've done on it. So we've tried different underbases, different application methods of the color with the digital, and also different special effects. In the coming weeks, we're going to try a lot of different special effects directly with the digital to see how it affects the digital, what other new kind of techniques we can come up with. Right now, the integration is PVC-free water-based, so that would be your underbase. They're digitally developed inks for hybrid. The hybrid inks sit on the surface, and you either can clear coat it to bond it all together. I've used adhesives underneath to bond it together. The digital ink is developed specifically to hold the color on the surface and keep it really bright and help you hit the color standards that you might be trying to match for a particular brand. You don't want to print digital and have it look like something that's knocked off. You want to have it look like the brands that you're printing for. So color management is really important. You can also build automation to get variable data so that each print could be different. So up here, you'll see some pictures cycling. That's how we figured out how to get the slideshow to work. The first one there, this picture of the girl, was one of the first ones that I attempted on hybrid. We put a traditional screen print underbase, so it had halftones. There was a high point of light. All of the value of that image was underneath. The digital that was on the surface was really pure bright color. So anywhere you see shadowing or darkness was coming from the underbase. And that was a digital white application. And it was semi-successful. I'm still working on transitioning to a shirt with a long transition, like a traditional screen print. But it's close. And the application was 3 screens and the digital. The next one that we did was the $100 bill. So that's this one, which I can pass around. I actually scanned a $100 bill, and it took a while because the computer kept locking me out. And you can look at this under a loop, and you can see all the security detailing that comes on $100, and you can take the flashlight. And you can take the flashlight. There's a color reflective on the surface that you can see that was applied afterwards.
Tom.
Oh, one of the images is missing. Okay, so what we did, we printed that. You can see all the security detailing on $100 that you would need a loop to see as well. It holds all the detail. If you look directly under Benjamin Franklin's face, along the bottom edge, it says USA in tiny little letters. Anthony Crisano retired from Anvil last year, so we took the $100 bill, we replaced Benjamin Franklin's face with his face, we replaced all the text in the back with things that he would say, we replaced all the security detailing with things that he would say, the Liberty Bell was replaced with the Anvil, the serial number was his initials and the date that he retired. We completely customized a $100 bill with special effects and printed it at the same time. With variable data, you can print a different shirt every single shirt. Now, you can do that with direct to garment as it stands. The difference with hybrid is that you can add a special effect onto the end. You can build a print model that would carry a similar theme, so something for your brand, but have different graphic information being fed in. And we're working on building that through automation.
So in this case, you would print a rectangular underprint and then variable data to have different images on top of that underprint.
Right. So the next one, not that one, that was the last one, was this one. So this one is more in line with like a halftone. This is actually dithers. It's got a CMYK build on top. There's no special effect application, but the test was to try and get rid of the solid square and apply it to a more traditional halftone type surface, and then it reduced the hand. This one's also applied through an adhesive method and not through a traditional digital white. And it helped reduce the hand. The advantage to that is in the future to try it against special effects that might allow us to apply digital to the surface of special effects using an adhesive. So you could potentially have a reflective underneath digital data that's changing. Yep. Okay.
Show and tell.
Yeah. And then this one, we went back to digital whites. It has a little bit more hand. They've evolved since then. This one, you'll see a picture that comes up. So there was 8 different prints. There were 4 different lighthouses. Each one of them had a name that came up here. There's a glow in the dark that goes over the top, and the digital data underneath made the glow look like it was different. So the lighthouse changed depending on the location. So for your tourist market, traditionally, the Outer Banks lighthouses, you would show all of them together on one shirt. And in this case, you could make 200 pieces for the market that doesn't have as much tourism, and you could make a higher number for Hatteras or something that has high tourism. And they would all be printed at the same time, and we printed 8 different shirt colors and 8 different graphic images.
Variable
One
data
setup,
down here where she was able to change that
5
with every
screens.
shirt. Like this is so it's screen printed underneath and then digital on top. He asked how you line that up, the underprint
so
and the digital over.
The digital hybrid is attached to your press, and there's a registration method between making a direct-to-screen screen and then the digital imaging. And so your artboards align, and then you line up your screen printing, and your digital falls in. But there's fine adjusts in your hybrid, so if you're off, you can kind of move it around a little bit. That's all. I think that's all.
All right, how about a hand for Michelle Moxley?
Thank you.
And any questions, public questions, and then she'll stick around also if you have shy people questions. Any questions?
Shy people.
None. Everybody knows everything. Amazing. All right, thanks again, Michelle. If you want a free t-shirt from Champion, our sponsor, it's pretty cool. Show the back. She's got little cards. You can go to Haynes' booth and get one of your size, even up to XXX. And want to thank Haynes, Impressions, and especially Michelle.
And thank you.
Thanks.